There, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Danielle Karen 999 here, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you for being here. To all my new subscribers, welcome. To all my existing subscribers, welcome. And if you have not subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button underneath this video so that you can join the channel. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about New York City. Is New York City a safe place to live? I made a couple videos about New York, as I've been in New York all my life, lived in New York practically all of my life, lived in Florida for a maximum, I'm going to say, condensed out of all the years that I've been alive, maybe about 3 years. I was a Florida resident. Um, Florida. I don't know. Nowadays, it seems like everywhere is just crazy. But in Florida, there was just too much wildlife for me. I had an alligator right in front of my house, that could have ate up my doggy at any minute. Um, Lots of snakes, frogs. I mean, the weather is nice, pretty hot, pretty hot, but it was beautiful for the most part. But I don't know if you've watched any of my other videos. If you haven't, I lost everything. So I had to move back to New York. And since then, I've been back in New York. And I've been back in New York since 2019. And New York is actually going downhill, going downhill. New York is not safe. It's not safe at all. I'm going to share with you some stats about New York City. I'm going to share with you some news reports about what's going on in New York City. My advice is to not move to New York City. Is New York City safe? I say no. I say no. Every day there's something going on. Today is actually January 2nd, and just yesterday there was a mass shooting at a club. But I'm going to show you these news reports. And I'm making this video just so that you can be aware of what's going on. If you're thinking about moving to New York, if you're thinking about moving out of New York, if you live here and you just want to know, like, what is going on in New York, it's not safe. It's a hellhole, and it's run by Satan, and it's run by corrupt government, corrupt officials, and we are civilians here fending for ourselves. And I made a video about that. So please go check that out. I'll put it somewhere up here in this video, and I'll also put it in the description box below. But so let's check this out. Let's check out what's been going on in New York for 2024. We are now in 2025. And I have the question, are they lying to us about the crime rate? I feel that they're lying to us about the crime rate in New York City. Because I'm going to show you the stats, and I'm going to say that, to me, the crime seems to be getting worse. The crime seems to be getting worse. But according to the stats, ironically, crime is getting better. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. But let me share with you some news articles. So these are the stats that they have here. So this report is from the New York City Police Department. And this is through 2012, 29, 2024. So just a couple of days ago, from the 23rd. So this is just a weekly report. This is for the week, but it's not for the whole year. So I guess that's how they kind of get around it. But this is for the week. So this was like last week. This year, there were 3 murders last week. In 2023, around this time, there were still 3 murders, so they say. Oh, here's the 2020. Okay, here's the 28 days. So in 2024, there was 22 murders altogether. In 2023, there was 20 murders. So is that an increase? Of course it is. But they're saying overall in 2023 compared to 2024, there was 375 murders in 2024 and 390 murders in 2023. So they're saying overall, there's been a 3% decrease. I don't know about that. Rape. Last week, there was 22 rapes in New York, just for the week. This is just for the week. Last year, there were 25, so they say. This year, the last 28 days, for the last month, there was 128 rapes in New York City and 123 in 2023. For the year, there was 1,736 people getting raped that got raped in New York City in 2024, last year, compared to 1,462. So there was an 18% increase in rape within the last year. Robbery. Just last week, there was 244 robberies compared to 373 robberies in 2023. So they're saying there was a 34% decrease. So they're saying that in 2023, there was 1,423 robberies, whereas last year in 2024, there was only 1,039 robberies, which was a 27% decrease within the month. And overall, 2024 had 16,000 robberies, 16,465 robberies in 2024. And in 2023, 16,822 robberies. That's a lot of robberies. That is a lot of robberies in 1 year. But they're saying there was a 2% decrease. Felony assault, just last week, 470 assaults compared to 516 in 2023. The last 28 days, 1,957 people were assaulted. Overall, in 2024, there was 29,194 felony assaults for the year, which is a 4.9% increase. Burglary, just last week, 207 burglaries compared to what they say was 255 this time last year for the week. So they're saying overall, 2024, we had 12,923 burglaries compared to 2023, which had 13,750, which is a 6% decrease. And then they got grand larceny, yada, yada, yada. But overall, they're saying crime is down. Crime is down. We had a total of 122,898 crimes in 2024, compared to what they're saying in 2023, which was 126,638, which was a 2.95% decrease. I don't know if I believe this report. They make it seem like, they got the transit crimes. They're saying that's down. I don't see how that's down. Housing crimes, petty larceny is down. Retail theft, they're saying is up. Misdemeanor assaults, that's up 8.4%. So last year, misdemeanor assaults, we had 47,476 476 misdemeanor assaults. 47,476 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 misdemeanor assaul UCR rate. I don't know what UCR is, but we're up 2.9%. Shooting victims, they're saying we're down. But how can that be that we are overall down in crime, whereas if you look at what's been going on this year, New Year's year of violence, crimes that shook the Big Apple in 2024. So let's take a look at this. This was New York Post, January 1st. It was just yesterday. This was posted. So let's go through this. Okay, so let's look at this. So let's start here. This was just today posted. At least 11 wounded in a mass shooting outside of a Queens nightclub. At least 11 people, believed to be mainly teenagers, were injured in a mass shooting outside a nightclub in Queens. Now, I live in Queens. The gunman opened fire near the Amazura nightclub in Jamaica just before 11:20 p.m. as a large crowd was leaving the location. So he waited until they were leaving to open fire. And this was a vigil, I believe, that was being held for a teenager that was killed last year, or was killed at some point. I don't know if it was last year. So no arrests have been made as of today. So let's take a look at New York City's year of violence, crimes that shook the Big Apple in 2024. The Big Apple was rocked with a slew of violent crimes that sparked local and nationwide fury this year, 2024, that is. From the murder of a New York Police Department officer to a broad daylight deadly stabbing spree to the brazen fatal torching of a woman sleeping on board a Brooklyn train. Overall felony crime on both the city streets and subways declined this year, according to the latest data, updated Sunday. But felony assaults specifically spiked by 5% on the streets compared to last year, and murders on the rails doubled from 5 to 10. Here are some 2024's most shocking crime stories as covered by the Post. So here we got a teen migrant allegedly shoots a tourist, fires at a security guard and an NYPD cop. A teen migrant allegedly shoots tourists and fires at a security guard and an NYPD cop. A 15-year-old migrant allegedly shot a tourist while firing at a security guard and later aimed his gun at an NYPD officer in the heart of Times Square. This happened at the beginning of 2024, February 8th. And we can see him here with the gun. Illegal migrant. Here's another one. 3-year NYPD veteran and married dad, Jonathan Diller, was fatally shot in the line of duty during a March 25th car stop in Queens. Car stop. NYPD officer shot and killed. Maniac slashes girl 11 in Harlem spree. A lunatic allegedly punched a woman in the face and then slashed an 11-year-old girl with a box cutter in a broad daylight Harlem spree before a vigilante mob tried to take matters into their own hands. He slashed 11-year-old box cutter. Another one. When was that one? This is all 2024, but they saying that May 10th. This was on May 10th. So we're going down the timeline of 2024. Innocent girl 7 struck by stray bullet in New York City. A 7-year-old girl was struck by a stray bullet in broad daylight, November 11th. Shooting on a Harlem corner. Terrible. Another one. 3 killed in Manhattan stabbing spree. This was on November 18th. A homeless man with a lengthy rap sheet senselessly stabbed 3 people to death in a broad daylight spree that spanned the entire width of Manhattan. This was going on in New York. The murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson on Midtown Street. A gunman fueled by rage against the healthcare industry brazenly executed Harlem United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, 50, in a targeted caught-on-video attack outside Manhattan's Hilton Hotel, where the insurance boss was attending an investors' conference. I'm sure you heard about that. This happened on December 4th. And these are just some, there's more. There's definitely more that's probably didn't get to the news. A migrant arrested after woman set ablaze in subway attack. A migrant man allegedly burned a sleeping woman to death in a Brooklyn subway horror and then sat calmly nearby as she was consumed by the flames. This happened on December 22nd on the train. And that's just some of, how many is that? I don't know. I didn't count. And then we have the mass shooting at the club in Missouri. And do you notice the recurrent theme with these news articles? When did this stuff happen? In broad daylight. It's no longer stuff, oh, be safe at night. Be careful out there at night in New York City. No, this stuff is happening in broad daylight. Broad daylight. New York City is not a safe place to live. If you are riding the subways, you're not safe. If you are just walking and minding your business, you're not safe. There's no regard for life here in New York City. Every man for himself. People mind their business. They don't report anything. You may have some good Samaritans that may see something, say something, try to do something, but for the most part, people have their heads in their phones and they're not getting involved because they don't want to be hurt. And on this article, it didn't even talk about the man that pushed that man in the subway on the tracks. That video that I showed the other day. The people those kids, or I don't know if they were teenagers that went on the platform, they bolted out of there. They was like, oh no, they jumped the turnstile going and they jumped the turnstile going back. Like, oh no, I don't want no parts of this. I don't want no parts of this. People in New York, like I said, they are traumatized and they keep their mouth shut because they don't want no smoke. They don't want no heat coming to them. They know if they butt into somebody's affairs or somebody's out there, you don't want to get shot. Somebody's out there shooting. What are you supposed to do? Somebody's out there raping somebody. What are you supposed to? Rape is up. Crime is up. I don't care what that report says. And I don't think it's going to get any better. New York City is not a safe place to live. And it's getting worse. Every man for himself. I believe that half these people here in New York, they're not even human and they don't have any soul. They have no soul because they have no regard for human life. And the illegal migrants that are here, they are part of gangs. I think they come from their country and they part of, so they do things differently in those other countries than we're used to seeing here. I mean, they don't care about killing police officers. And I believe that's why the police officers are not doing anything anymore. The police officers are scared. They're scared to do their jobs for fear that they may get killed. New York is not a safe place to live. So I don't know if this is happening elsewhere, but if you are in New York, you need to be alert. You need to be aware. Not with your head in your phone doing this. No, you can't afford to do that. You have to be on high alert, looking left, looking right. You got to see what's going on because you will be victimized. You can't just be walking with your rose-colored glasses on. Not in New York. Not in New York. No way. I mean, every day we're hearing something that happened. And it's coming closer and closer and closer to home. And it's terrifying. So if you think about moving to New York, I'm gonna say don't do it. It's expensive and it's unsafe. And if you wasn't born here and you don't have the tenacity and the hustle and the grit and the toughness to live in New York, don't come here. Don't come here thinking you're gonna achieve the American dream. Don't come here. Don't come here. New York is not safe. It's expensive and it's not safe. And I'm just trying to save you some heartache. I'm trying to save you some money. I'm trying to save your life, your kids' lives. My daughter travels with Mace. She has to. And now, thank God, she's able to drive to work. But even the people on the road is just crazy. And there's so many cars in New York. It's just unbearable. The cars are everywhere. There's no parking. The ticket agents are out. All New York wants is money because I believe New York is broke. New York is broke, expensive, and unsafe. Don't move here. And if you live here, if you live here, you got to be tough. And you got to be ready for whatever comes your way. This is not a place for the weak. It's not. New York is not a place for the weak. It's not. It's not. So, with that being said, I will continue to follow what's going on in New York and update you. If it gets better, I'll let you know. I don't think it's going to get any better anytime soon. Not with the corrupt politicians that we have in office right now, the corrupt administration, the corrupt leadership. I don't think it's going to get any better anytime soon. But if it does, I'll be the first to update you because I want you to be informed. I want you to make informed decisions and I want you to be aware and awake. Get your head out your phones. Get your head out the clouds. Because you got to know what's going on. So That's my video for you today, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Leave me a comment below and let me know your experience of New York. Let me know if you've ever visited New York, if you ever thought about moving here, if you used to live here. Give me your honest opinion and let me know what you thought of this video. Did you appreciate me giving you the crime stats? You know, I have to keep it real with you. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm going to keep it real so that you can know what's going on. I love you guys. Have a great rest of your day. Peace, love, and light. Take care.